You see that? That's him. All right. All right.
Mario, thanks for having me. I appreciate
problem,
it, bud. This is awesome.
Yes, sir. Yeah, explain, however.
Well, my name is Bill Cox, and I'm a writer and performer. I started out my writing career as actually when I was a kid. All I wanted to be was a writer and a speaker, but I never knew what I was going to write or speak about. I'm a live DJ, wedding DJ for DJs Unlimited for years, and I've kind of progressed into being an event planner. But I started my writing as a hobby because we get out so late that when you come home, you can't go to bed. You just can't sleep. And some people, you know, they go to the bars or they play video games. I just wrote because that was kind of my hobby and kind of my outlet. And so I wrote a couple of books.
Nice.
The Ultimate Wedding Reception book, which is based on what I know how to do. And then I also wrote the Ultimate Wedding Ceremony book, and those are available on Amazon.com.
Okay.
But the process of writing a book is pretty boring. You write it, you send it to your book editor, and you don't see it, and then the next thing you know, it's basically done. Okay. So I went a little farther, and I think every writer, and all of you writers out there will understand this. I think everybody goes through a poetry phase, and so I went through this poetry phase, but I like comedy, and I've been trained with Sam Cox of the Comedy Gym out of Austin, and Comedy Sports here in Houston. Outstanding programs with improv comedy and being a public speaker and a DJ. Right. And so I incorporated that into my poetry, and I started doing what I call urban dance poetry.
What makes your poetry different from all the other poets?
Music and edge.
Okay.
For example, I'm best known for I Love the Fat Chicks, which
I love the fat chicks.
I Love the Fat Chicks,
yeah.
Which is a great song,
so you
poetry
really
song.
Love fat chicks?
Yeah.
Okay.
Doesn't everybody love fat chicks? Yeah.
I wish we could play it here today.
Well, it's on YouTube in case anybody wants to search it.
And it's called I Love the Fat Chicks.
I Love the Fat Chicks by Bill Cox, and it jams. It's excellent. And then I got into doing shorts, and I really enjoyed that, writing shorts and producing shorts.
You produce.
Yes.
Nice.
And I worked with next actor San Banerjee, an outstanding director. San Banerjee. San Banerjee. And it's kind of funny. San, he's a really cool dude, long hair, and we used to meet at one of the local bars at the Rice Village.
Okay.
And I always told him, I go, San, I love hanging out with you, because all the women would come around, and I go, you make me feel so cool.
Right.
And me being an older white guy, he goes,
you are cool.
he told me, he goes, I like hanging out with you because you make me feel legitimate.
Yeah. Yes.
So that was my introduction into screenplays, and I'm the kind of guy that I don't like to write or do a project, and I want everybody out there to understand, if you have a project in mind, don't do it halfway. Start it and finish it.
Okay.
I never wanted to write and then just throw it in a drawer. I wanted it to be complete, no matter how difficult it was to complete it.
Okay.
And as a writer, I evolved into doing a feature. You have to do a feature if you're doing screenplays. And my wife has been absolutely wonderful in supporting me in it.
Okay.
I spent every dime I could afford to spend, and even some I couldn't afford to spend to get Beer and Seed done.
Yeah. How did this come into fruition? What process did you go through to complete this? Because this is nice.
It was It was a wonderful process. I took a story of a college student, a veteran, and I am a veteran, who goes back to school and tries to make his life better and have a second chance, and yet obstacles keep getting put in his way.
Right.
But he handles them differently than your typical college student.
Right.
I'm
And that's
in.
where the comedy comes in.
That's where the comedy comes in.
Right,
Yes,
those
what you wouldn't expect
Right.
from your typical college student, and how he has to interact with them. And I wrote 44 scenes for it.
How long did it take you to write that?
Honestly, not long. Because, and the thing about, and I don't know about any other writer out there, but with me, I write in my head. I as you think about the project, and then when you actually sit down at the keyboard, it's like pouring water out, because I've already made all the mistakes in my mind.
Right.
So, of it, we shot 27 scenes, and then of course we had 5 scenes of B-roll and wraparounds that we had to do, and ended up with a feature film a little over an hour long.
Nice.
And so it's up for Best of Houston. And honestly, since it's my first feature, I feel absolutely blessed just to be nominated, because Houston has a very active film group, and there's people that are outstanding because they do so many training films, so they're excellent. And when they get into doing the entertainment films, they have all the talent, all the gear. You're running up against some really heavyweights that may not have the names of the Hollywood or the people that are working out of Orlando or New York, but Houston has a great film culture. It's
Nice.
Awesome.
Yeah, I heard they have like different type of incentives for producers out here in Houston.
They do. And one thing is nice about Houston is the talent. Vast majority of them have jobs.
Okay.
And so when your talent arrives on set, they are more motivated, they are ready to go, because they have a fixed amount of time.
Right.
And so they don't waste time. When we hit the set, we were ready to go.
Nice.
And it really helped, and it kept the continuity of the project going.
So what do you want? What are you? I mean, I know you have like a lot of different traits. You're a jack of all trades. What do you like? What is your main deal? You know,
Being creative.
being creative.
It's the whole idea is I'm just a creative being.
Okay, because
I
don't
like
want to
doing
get you
stuff.
typecast. I don't want to get you typecast. You know, I'm
Totally understand that.
So I know you do the wedding DJ thing.
Mm-hmm.
So how does that incorporate into this? Do you want to be known as
awesome.
I want you known as the creativity. I want you to know as the creativity entity.
Right. I love doing weddings. I love being a public speaker. When I was a kid, I was the state of Michigan. Yes, I was the state of Michigan champion public speaker.
Nice.
Back in FFA,
Nice.
and I got that because I just stood up and basically told pig jokes. I was raised on a pig farm, and people actually liked it.
Nice.
That's what I like, the creative aspect, but I like doing a lot of different things. And what I really like about doing movies as opposed with writing books is you have all the different people and all their creative ideas, because I don't think everything that I write is absolutely right. It's not. But seeing these very talented individuals and their expression and how they bring out the characters is absolutely wonderful.
Nice.
For example, Miss Universe Bikini is in my movie.
This one here?
Yes.
Wow.
Her name is Jessica Vasquez, and she is from Houston.
Okay.
And she was brought in by our lead actress, Christine Tran, who's acting in Paris now.
Okay.
she was brought in as a friend. We needed another character, and it was her first time on set. And we really didn't realize what we had. She did just a couple of short roles, so you have to look at quick for her. But she is absolutely stunning. And now she's gone into being, she's a fitness model, and she's gone on to doing great things. Okay. She is outstanding.
Nice.
And if we would have known what we would have had.
But she's not a fat chick.
No, she's not a fat chick, but we still love her.
All right.
But she would have had more lines, and she would have worn a lot less.
Nice.
If we would have known it. But that's just one of those things. One of the other leads, Ryan Sawyer. We brought him in as he just kind of wanted to be a grip or just kind of help out in it. And we got him on camera, and he was so awesome. We needed a person that had a little bit of an edge, that was easy to hate. Oh, he came across as such a prick. Okay. It was awesome. And so he immediately rolled into that role. The guy, Nick, who's a bartender, right, based on a real bartender from when I was in college, was played by my friend Jeff Raines, who owns the largest production company in Houston called DJU Productions. DJU Productions.
YOU or U?
DJU.
Like university?
Yes.
U.
And it's the largest production. But he actually knew Nick.
Okay.
In college, because we went to college together at Central Michigan. And so he actually kind of channeled that character.
Nice.
Another guy who I've used several times, John Sick.
Okay.
Older gentleman. I have had him play a bum. He's played a doctor. He plays in this a college professor.
Yeah.
I met him in a Toastmasters class. He is outstanding. So
you are creative.
The talent of all these people, right. And then of course we had the basic professionals. Andrew Peacock, who plays Seed, he looks like Johnny Depp in it, and he is an outstanding actor. And the Christine Tran, who I talked about before, she's an actress in Paris, and you'll see her in a lot of productions that are out of Texas. And now France. So I mean, and I totally enjoyed that part of it, the process of Beer and Seed. And one other thing a lot of people don't realize, what makes my productions different is because of my background as a DJ.
Right.
That movie jams. The soundtrack is better than any other indie film out there. I absolutely guarantee. As a matter of fact, I'll give people a money-back guarantee. If you can find one that is better, right, I'll give you the money back on mine. I will. And the guy who did it is a musician. His name is Jack Younger.
Jack Younger.
Is he in here? He did the soundtrack.
Okay.
And Jack is an Oasis fan like I am, and I don't know how many of you fans. Some bands create songs, other bands create anthems, and that's Oasis. And so as we went through this process, the music sounds like a combination of Oasis, Alan Parsons projects. He brings your emotions up, brings it down. It's killer. Absolutely killer. And so those are and as I went through the process of learning and doing different projects, my style is, I love animation.
Okay.
So I like including a little bit of animation in pretty much everything I do. Okay. Because you control the whole frame.
Right. Do you know how to edit? Like, do you know how to use the iMovies and the Final Cut Pro?
No, the only editing that I do, I use a small software program at home. Okay. Anything that I do, I prefer to hire professionals. Nice. Professionals, you know what I'm saying, to do.
I understand completely.
Because I know what I can do.
Right.
But the professionals, it's just so second nature to them that they will smooth out the rough edges that I have.
You want to be busy being creative.
That's right. That's right. So I pretty much know what I do, and I let them
Think fast, move quick.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. And it's so my next one, I have a feature written called More Fun Dead.
Nice.
And that's going to be the next feature that I'm going to do.
How much does the budgets? I mean, what was the budget looking like on a project like this?
Funny you should ask. I really hope my wife is not. Honey, I hope you're not watching this. I have in this movie $15K
15,000 per project
of hard dollars. And what I mean by hard dollars is what I actually spent.
Right.
I don't pay any money for myself or any of that. It was a low budget deal.
What kind
I fed and took care of the actors and
what kind of actors? If there are any actors that wanted to be a part of any of your projects, how would they get in touch with you for casting purposes?
You know, that's a good question. People find people.
Okay.
And it's amazing. For example, Dean Morris. There's a guy who is the Morris Molina is his name. I was in a short with him as an actor,
right.
And it was called Wham Pow.
Okay.
It's just a short. I didn't write it. It was Catherine Abel.
Wham Pow.
Wham Pow.
Was it a comedy?
It's a comedy.
Sounds like it.
And it was great. And I actually wrote, and I keep people in mind as I write. And so I actually named the Dean Morris.
Right.
But when I got a hold of Morris Molina, he is actually the publicity director for the Houston Aeros,
okay,
the hockey team. And he was unavailable. And so I went to, Houston has a lot of networking. There's a lot of networking opportunities in Houston. And I go on a fairly regular basis to houstonfilm.org, and I've met a ton of just various terrifically talented and wonderful people there. And I ran into this guy, kind of quirky, named Dan Lewis.
Dan Lewis.
And
hey, Dan.
And I was just mesmerized by this guy. And I asked him, I go, would you come in and do a screen test for this role? And he goes, yeah. And so he comes in and screen tests after he reads the side that I had for him. He goes, how about if I did this role with a parrot on my shoulder? I go, you're not a pirate. You're actually a dean of a college. Right. But he is just that quirky
that is hilarious
personality. And when you watch it, when you watch him, you can't take your eyes off of him.
Yeah, he just put a parrot on his shoulder.
I can just, every time I look at it, I just imagine if he had his parrot on his shoulder, it'd just be hilarious.
Yeah.
But he's a terrific guy. And when you mix them all together and you stir it up in a soup and it just comes out, it is a wonderful, wonderful project.
Right.
It's been well received. It's on Amazon.com.
Nice.
And I got it approved for not only obviously purchase, but download and rental, which is a big deal for just an indie guy, you know, like me.
Yeah.
And it's been a wonderful, wonderful journey. But I thought once it was done and packaged, I was done.
Right.
But that hasn't been the case. It's almost like I'm busier now with it because it's actually out
right.
than I was during the creative process
right.
of making it. I scored a 4.2 on the indie scale of 5, and for the low indie budget that I have,
right.
I just have to give all the credit in the world to RW Productions.
RW Productions.
Bob Willems,
Bob
the executive producer, and Seth Conway was the camera director.
Nice.
And it was almost kind of, they wanted to put me down as the director, and I can block the scene, but the camera director, Seth, was so good at getting the right angles, at the the lighting and stuff. It was just great working with a professional like that.
Is there any advice you would want to give out to other, individuals such as yourself, trying to come up?
Do it.
That's it? Do it?
Do it and complete it.
Okay.
And what that will do is this. It will temper your dreams, and it will make some of them a reality. And this is what I mean. It took me 3 years to write my first book.
Okay. Do you have a copy of your book here?
I didn't bring that with me.
Okay.
But if you invite me back, I'll bring one.
Yeah, of course. You call me anytime, whenever you want to come back.
That would be awesome. But because I have worked hard to complete things, the next goal that I make, I feel I'm more realistic in my expectations. Yes. Because I understand there's a difference between a wish
right.
and a goal.
A wish and goal.
You can wish anything you want,
right.
But if you have a goal, then you have to think that out and complete that.
Are you aware that you're a very valuable person here in Houston? You're like 1% of a whole industry here in one person?
I don't know about that, but what I do know is this.
Somebody who's cool?
I'm willing to help anybody that wants to achieve,
right.
Because I have been helped by so many people.
Okay.
And like I said, Houston is wonderful. I just returned from New York where I met with an agent. I have another agent in LA. Nice. And the thing about it is they all want to find ways to make money off you. Whereas that's a beautiful thing about the Houston film community. I've received so much support and help. I've went to seminars where people that had wonderful talent and experience shared their knowledge, and it helped me incredibly. Okay. Whereas when I go out to these other places, they are pretty much interested in how they're going to profit off of you, as opposed with you get to the next level.
You don't like it?
Well, no, I totally understand it.
Right.
But they might be here and I'm here.
That's what you think.
Or where it is, or whatever it is. But they're trying to cash checks off of me, as opposed with helping me get to the next level. Mm-hmm. And that would be...
What is the next level?
More.
More of what?
More projects.
More projects?
I love doing them. Beer and Seed was a great project, but it's done. And it's so funny. I did an interview with Boss TV,
right.
Mike Cap, and he goes, Boss TV, yeah, he's a great guy. He goes, so what about the sequel? I don't know if there's going to be a sequel. That hard life that Nick the bartender had. I don't know if he's going to make it.
$15,000. You think the sequel will come out to $15,000, or do you think?
Oh no. That's another thing about the film industry. The film industry, every project costs you more.
Dang.
And the reason why is this. Each project gets more complex. You're pushing your talent farther and farther. You've already done this.
Right.
So now you're taking it to the next step. You're going farther with it.
So for it to be a sequel, you would need you would need the funding.
Yes, I would need funding, but I would have to probably write a totally different script for it. You know, there's really no way to do a prequel to it, so it would have to be a sequel and focus on some of these other characters.
Right.
And I don't know if I could do a story, because this one at 66 minutes, that is the minimum threshold for a feature.
Okay.
So I would probably want to do my next one 90 minutes.
That
And
sounds perfect.
yeah, and that is right in there.
I want it to work. And, you know, are you going to use the same cast and crew? Or are you going to start?
I'm going to use some.
Okay.
I'm going to use some, but you know, that's the funny thing. A lot of people think, and those of you out there are thinking this, you think that, hey, I'm like that Bill Cox guy. I'm not that great looking, but I got a lot of talent. You may be just the person that a casting director is looking for.
Nice.
Because it's not necessarily the best looking people. And of course you see all the beautiful people that want to be actors and actresses, but it's not, here's the key, it's not the best looking, it's the most appropriate looking for the character. That is the one you have to cast.
Nice.
And so, which leaves it wide open. When I write, I name the characters in my head ahead of time, so I actually almost know them as I'm writing, and I write out the characteristics.
That is amazing.
And so, and when I see the people, like, and Dean Morse is a prime example. That character was supposed to be a younger Dean, so we had that clash, okay? Dan Lewis, however, is almost Bill's age. Okay. That's in there. And so we had a conflict of bulls in the pen that are the same age.
Right.
Okay? Which, when I wrote the script, it was going to be different, younger, older.
Right.
But once I met him, I knew he was perfect. I just did a few rewrites, and it worked. It worked great.
Okay.
It worked great.
Who are your agents? How many agents do you have? You mentioned one.
0.
I thought you mentioned one in New York and one in Los Angeles.
I didn't sign.
Okay.
I didn't sign with either of them.
All right.
You know, if you're not working
Right.
in the business, having an agent means that there's not one person not getting you work, but there's 2 people not getting you work.
Right.
You're not getting you work, and your agent's not getting you work.
Right.
I am in this discovery phase of my talent, trying to find where exactly I fit.
Okay.
I say that I have no agents, which is, in a way, is not true.
Right.
I work for DJU Productions here in Houston, and they are my agent as far as being a public speaker,
Okay.
as far as being a DJ, as far as being a live host.
Nice.
I work typically through Champion Entertainment when I'm working as an actor, when I'm doing voiceover work, which I do a fair amount of that, and also with a company out of North Houston called Epic Software. I do some things for them.
Okay.
But as far as I don't have a person that reps me as far as a filmmaker.
Okay.
Or anything.
So what trait do you value the most? Because I mean, you come up to a job and they say, we want you to be creative and hang out. Mm-hmm. And that sounds like a good plan for a person like you. Hang out, you're going to do what you're going to do. You seem to do what you do.
Right.
You're always thinking of unconventional ways to make something conventional work.
Well, you know,
that's super amazing.
It's kind of funny. my wife and I, we are kind of a two-artist household. She's an interior designer.
Nice.
And she has one talent, and that's this.
Her eye?
Her eye. She has the greatest eye. We can walk into a tile store, there's a million different tiles in there.
Right.
She can spend 10 minutes in there and have the perfect tile for her client.
Nice.
Okay?
Okay.
Me, I'm a creative being, but I'm also a performer.
Right.
I can go in to an event that is just falling apart.
Okay.
And I can go out on stage. I can play some music. I can make a few announcements, tell a couple of jokes, and it will turn and become awesome because I am just a creative being.
Your next project, do you mind if we bring cameras up there and catch the process and air that as well?
That would be awesome.
I would appreciate it.
I would absolutely love it.
Yeah.
Because, and one thing you'll find about me is that I give my actors, and you can ask any of them, I give them a fair amount of leeway.
Okay.
And part of it is because I'm a writer.
Right.
And for any of you that are wondering the differences between a book writer and a screenwriter, it's this. A book writer will write and then backspace and erase and write some more and then backspace and write, and hopefully we'll get stuff done. Whereas in a book, my books are anywhere from 112 to 120 pages, whereas when you're writing a screenplay, Beer and Seed was 88 pages. And you're not writing all dialogue because you're writing camera movements and different elements about it.
Did you go to film school?
No.
You're self-taught.
Yeah. I just did it at night.
Nice.
But I did enter a few contests. Ben Affleck and Matt Damon had Project Greenlight a few years ago.
Right.
And I have a feature script called One Good DJ.
Okay.
And it's about actually two DJs. One's a radio host and the other was a mobile guy like me. And the differences between the two careers and how one was going up and one was going down and that kind of thing. And I made it through the third round. 3 rounds of that. So it almost got produced by, that would have been great if it would, Ben and Matt, if you're out there, that was mine. Which was a great process, a great learning experience. And I've taken a few seminars and that kind of thing. But as far as film and being, the whole idea of the film is to not verbalize the action, but to be able to show the action so the people that are watching it can experience the film. So that's the whole difference. What really helped me is the fact that because I'm a writer and it was my script and I was on set, some people just can't say things.
Right.
It doesn't come out natural for them.
Gotcha.
They can't say, yes, sir, or they can't say, yes, ma'am. They're more of a, yeah, guy, yeah, dog, or whatever.
Yeah, dog.
Exactly. So I was able to change that. The difference is this. I only wrote 88 pages for Beer and Seed.
Right.
But I rewrote that 88 pages 30 times.
Wow.
For each character, each night.
Wow.
On set, to make sure that they could bring it off as authentic.
Okay.
Okay? And then I also wanted to give, and nobody likes to do other people's lines that they don't feel, and so I would let them, especially if we had more time, let them improv. Let them stay in character, okay, and go with it.
Okay.
And let's see what we get, and see, I mean, because after they've run through it a couple of times, they're feeling the character.
Okay.
They're going with it.
That's what you
And
want.
then, exactly. And some of the best stuff, Jeff Rains is outstanding at improv.
Okay.
And some of the stuff he would come up with was just totally awesome.
Nice.
And it would change the whole direction. And I would watch him. I would just be taking notes.
Right.
It was wonderful. And hopefully the actors liked working with me. I mean, that's what I
What film
really hope.
festivals have you been a part of so far? Have you been in any film festivals in Los Angeles?
Not with Beer and Seed. Beer and Seed, I'm kind of, it's kind of my baby.
Right.
And I sell my books through Amazon.
Right.
And so the only outlet I have for Beer and Seed is on Amazon. Their downloads, their rentals. However, it's up for Best of Houston.
Nice.
And if it wins, I will get the opportunity to be a part of the Gulf Coast Film Festival, which is coming up in the fall here.
Okay.
So that'll be my first exposure that I'm going to do.
Where do you see yourself in the next 5 years?
Next 5 years,
Yeah,
I would love to have at least one more feature project done. I've done, and I might as well break it out here.
Nice.
I had a friend tell me that, Bill, you do too much comedy. You need to try and at least make a difference in the world. And so I did a short called Muslim and American.
Nice.
And the moral of the story is, because of my hate, I will have no grandchildren. And it's about a Muslim and American who are jailed because of their hatred for each other's.
Nice.
And they are finally released at the same time, and they realize they are too old to have children. And as a matter of fact, the American's son becomes a sniper. The Muslim's son becomes a suicide bomber.
Wow.
They both are killed. And these gentlemen are in prison, and when they are released, they realize they are alone. They have extinguished their line
Right.
because of their hatred.
Right.
And I wrote that short to be about a 5-minute long, and I just released bits about it. I got hate mail. I used an illustrator that was so concerned that the hate was going to get, because people don't want to touch. I mean, especially if you're white, they don't want to touch anything. And I'm a Christian.
Right.
That says Muslim. You can't do it.
Right.
But I wanted to expose that. I mean, we've got to find a way to get along.
Okay.
And so I wanted to expose that. But he was so scared, he had me take his name off. And so it's just illustrated by the artist.
At least you have a following where people pay attention to you.
Oh, no, and you know what? I was really shocked at how many people did.
Right.
Because I am not typically political.
You are a Goliath in this game here in Houston.
Well, I totally appreciate that, but that was not my intention on that.
Right.
So and I like to, and it's on YouTube free. So it's not like I'm trying to profit from it, but I just want people to understand there are other views that are out there.
Okay.
So and I like doing shorts just to kind of keep in the game.
Okay.
I have just finished a computer virus cure
Nice.
with an animator, Jared Coas, who's outstanding. He's one of my favorite to work with. Anybody that sees that will definitely recognize the style because we do a fair amount of projects together. But there's I have the feature scripts though next. I want to do More Fun Dead.
When are you going to start? What dates are these?
That's probably going to be spring of 14.
Spring of 14
and
15 and 16 and 17.
And I have another one. I have another one called Watch Bill. It's
forever,
and it's awesome. I'd still like to do because I'm ex-military. I would like to do a military movie.
Okay.
And then I'd also like to do a sports movie. So, honestly, I think the vast majority of people probably have 10 good stories. I don't think I could do. I don't think I could do 15 or 20.
Do you have a Facebook page? Do you have a Facebook?
Just a personal one under Bill Cox, but I do have a YouTube channel, which is Bill Cox.
What do you prefer? Because a lot of actors, actresses, models, they watch this, and please, I encourage it. If there's any of them that would want to contact you for any of your future projects, I
Not a problem at all. They can go through just Bill Cox on YouTube.
COX.
Yeah, COX. Plain vanilla, and or even I don't mind on my personal Facebook page. Contact me through there.
Nice. Thank you.
Thanks for having me. This is totally awesome.
Yeah.
Is this it?
No.
Oh,
let's talk, man, because it's very important. Because there are a lot of people out here, some people are getting in trouble, people are getting stuck in some career that they don't want to be in, and it carries off into the rest of their lives. And, and we're in a very weird position because this whole Houston scene is just getting to where it's being recognized for the creativity, community.
It's absolutely blowing up.
And I believe you're the guy to lead that. I
lead from behind, because honestly I like to encourage people, and everybody has a talent.
The things you say here today.
Everybody has. That's awesome. I appreciate that. Everybody has a talent, though. Right. I mean, like the mere fact that we met online.
Right.
And you brought me in.
Yeah. I contacted you. I was like, Bill, come on in. We need to talk to you. We need to get this information out here in these houses.
And see, that is the unique talent that you bring to the table. Me, I'm a writer.
Nice.
And I at the core, I am the person that takes a blank page and can put the words on it. Now, there are people that will take those words and will make them better.
Yeah, but there's the only problem that I see with that is that here in Houston, they kind of recognize the skill, but at the same time, they don't recognize the what do you call it? The
effort.
No, not the effort. The effort's good, but when they don't have the idea of how much this type of talent is worth.
Oh,
you have
no question about it.
You have diamond talent, and you should be getting diamond money, for what you do.
I would,
you
honestly.
create a project like this right here, and it looks really nice, and the movie rocks, and it's concerned legitimate topics. I mean, there are guys in Los Angeles and New York that are mansions and Bentleys producing the same quality and stuff, man. This stuff could compete with. Who's that guy that did Django? Quentin Tarantino.
That's so funny that you.
I mean, dude, please do not. I mean, I love Houston with a passion, but please get to the proper people. There are some people that you need to meet that will put in fruition all your work. They're to put in fruition, because you're supposed to be, your compensation.
Yeah.
We're not here, like we said, we're not here promoting money and do everything for money, but please don't let your love blind you to the financials, because you could do more help. You can put the production together. You could have those 18-wheelers pulling up with the generators, lighting up a big scene.
Right.
And that type of stuff needs to be seen.
Yeah.
There's some people that are never getting out of Houston, not because they don't want to or they don't know how to. It's just that there probably, there will be people that will look up to that, and that would shift the whole
thing about it is,
culture here in Houston.
If you're getting into film and money is the reason, then that's the wrong reason.
Right.
You got to do it for the love. I do this for the love, and I invested in this project basically because I believe in myself. And if I'm not going to invest in myself, then how could I ask someone like you to invest in me?
Right.
I had to prove that I have a product, I can see something all the way to the end and complete it and have something not just decent, but awesome.
Right.
That was my goal. Ever since I was a kid, that's all I wanted to be, was awesome.
100% filmed in Houston at Rice University, Lifeway Recovery School, RW Production Studio, and other Houston locations.
That's exactly what we did. We were all over Houston, all over H-Town doing it.
Okay.
And it was great. And like you said, there's so many talented people and stuff. And yes, I would like to go the next level. I can tell you this. Whatever money I do make, it's going to go on to the next one, because I'm not into accumulating things.
Right.
I am into completing projects, making differences in people's lives, helping them get to the next level.
Nice.
That's what I'm about.
Okay.
I have probably what makes me different is obviously I'm an older artist, and I have this sense of urgency that I just want to get stuff done.
Right.
And the great thing is I've had so many varied experiences. I was raised on a farm.
Right.
I've been in the military.
Right.
I have a college degree in management, and that management degree probably helped me as much as anything to complete this project, because I have the creativeness, but it was the management of getting it done and making sure all the details were handled that allowed me to complete it.
Nice.
But but Houston has been wonderful, and Houston works.
Yep. Beer and Seed is a humorous look at the seedier side of college life. Beer and Seed is a back-to-school film. An older student tries to start over by going back to school. It doesn't go as planned.
It doesn't go well. It's funny that you brought up Tarantino, because there's quite a few reviews on Amazon about it, and the biggest comments are that it reminds people of Old School with Will Ferrell and that. Also Animal House, older one with John Belushi. But they say my writing style seems to be like Tarantino in the fact that each scene has a beginning, a middle, and an end.
Nice.
And I consciously wrote it like that because I didn't know how long my money was going to last.
Right.
So I wrote 44 scenes, and some of my favorite scenes I couldn't afford to shoot because they were like a night scene or they complex. It would have, it would have taken money that I didn't have, so I could rewrite the story. But because I used I don't know if that's a conscious method that he uses of having each scene having a beginning, a middle, and an end. But boy, that it helped me so much. Okay. Enabled to use it as as like building blocks. Essentially, I was able to build the movie that way.
Okay. So your Facebook is BillCox.com. Bill Cox.
Bill Cox, and CLX. Bill Cox is on YouTube. Okay,
YouTube. All right, YouTube, Facebook. All right, and on the YouTube is Bill Cox?
Yes.
Okay. What we're going to do, is what my company is going to do. I'm gonna have my company go shop this over in Los Angeles and see what they come up with. Okay.
Awesome.
We'll need a few more copies of these, and you could catch Beer and Seed on Houston Media Source on Channel 17, as well as the affiliate stations that we broadcast through. Okay. Houston, I give you Bill Cox. Bill Cox, could you end us out and tell Houston whatever you want to tell Houston? And
Houston has
listen.
has been absolutely wonderful to me. I'm actually from Michigan, and it was an economic migration. I wanted a job. What better place to work than coming to H-Town?
Nice.
I love it down here. People have been absolutely wonderful to me and for me down here in Houston. And one thing about Houston,
Right.
it works. You can find any talent that you want and need here in Houston. And the thing about it is, these people, the vast majority of them, particularly in the film business, have other jobs.
Right.
And so they come in, they are prepared. And another thing is, they typically don't specialize. Or in other words, if you're going out to LA or New York, you want a voiceover talent, you typically have to go get a voiceover person. But in Houston, if you were just only doing voiceovers, you'd probably starve. There's not enough business. There's not enough business.
That's where you come in.
That's right. That's why
you're the boss.
You get people that are jack of all
Houston,
trades.
Say hello to your new creativity boss. This is the gentleman right here, Bill Cox. So get used to it. You see Beer and Seed right here. There will be others. So make sure you contact him through the Facebook and YouTubes for castings. And my company is going to work on the business side of things. And Facebook.com/Bill Cox, YouTube.com/Bill Cox. Check out all the information. Producers, actors, actresses, models, you name it, whatever you are. If you're trying to stay out of trouble and you want to try to get into acting, writing, producing, directing, Bill Cox. So I want that name across all the minds of everyone who watched this in Houston. Respectfully request, please.
Thanks for having me.
Yes,
This
sir.
is awesome.
Gotcha.
Appreciate it. All right.